I hear a lot when women come into the Badass Blueprint is like, nobody's ever taught them this stuff, or they've been gaslit. So doctors are offering them antidepressants, they're offering them birth control, they're saying like, this is normal, this is all in your head. And a lot of times our own parents, right, like menopause wasn't really talked about. So a lot of us really think that like menopause is just like all of a sudden you're gonna get hot flashes, your period's gonna stop, and it's gonna like, everything's just gonna go back to normal. And that couldn't be anything farther than the truth. And so many women are experiencing things that are attributed to their hormones, and they don't actually even realize it because society hasn't taught them that, or doctors have been gaslighting them. So I'm gonna actually give you guys all the info that you need to know. And a lot of you are probably wondering, like, am I in perimenopause? Like, where am I? I don't even really know. And so we're gonna go through all of that stuff together today. So if you're here, whether you're here live or you're on replay, I want you to drop the word hormones in the comments below. Just drop the word hormones. That's how I know you're here, you're watching, you're sticking around with me, because I always value your feedback, and that's how I know what to make more of. Also, as we're going, if you have a question, drop in the comments. I always read your questions and I always respond to all of them. So what's the best way to know if you're actually in perimenopause? Realistically, it's symptoms. There are some things we can look at on your labs, and I'm actually going to go through, I wrote some stuff on my whiteboard for you guys to screenshot here in a minute. And so we're actually going to kind of go through like what some of those things are. So I love labs. That's why we run labs, because they give us a snapshot, but it's also important when you're working with somebody is to also treat their symptoms, because your symptoms are real. They're not all in your head, right? And they're interfering with your life. So it's also a good idea to ask your mom, if she's still around, how old she was when she went through menopause. That's the best predictor of when you're going to go through menopause. But the big thing is like, you don't just all of a sudden stop having a period. Perimenopause is the 6 to 10 years before that. So if you're in your 40s, you're in perimenopause, whether you like it or you don't. And the thing is like, these symptoms don't just all show up. They'll start creeping in over time. And then all of a sudden you'll wake up one day and be like, how the fuck did I get like this? Well, it didn't happen overnight. It happens bit by bit by bit by bit. But also I think it's really important for you guys to know that going through menopause actually puts us at a risk of a number of different diseases, things that will actually kill us. And we see this a lot in women's labs. So sometimes they're further more advanced, and sometimes they're not as far. And a lot of times their doctors will be like, oh, everything's normal. And it's like, no, you're on your way to diabetes. This is actually a really scary statistic. It should scare the shit out of you. Prior to menopause, you have a 1 in 30 chance of having a cardio related event. After menopause, it goes up to 1 in 3. That should terrify you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. It's not breast cancer. It's not anything else. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. After menopause, it's 1 in 3. And so you need to be doing everything you can to take care of your heart, because this shit will kill you. Your risk of cancer goes up, your risk of diabetes goes up, cholesterol. There's a number of different diseases that go along with these changes. So it's not just you're gonna have hot flashes and too bad, you gotta fucking deal with it. That's total bullshit. I see a lot of high cholesterol. I see a lot of pre-diabetes. We see a lot of this in our practice, and we work with women to reverse these things before they actually got to a point like where they actually have a disease that's going to kill them. So I think that's important for you guys to know. It's not just about vanity, which I know a lot of you guys want to lose weight, and I love looking good, but it's not just about vanity. This is actually about like living a long, full life free of disease as well. And then the other thing I wanted to really share with you guys is I think a lot of us, like I said, is a lot of women only learned about hot flashes. If you guys are here with me, whether you're live or on replay, if you haven't dropped the word hormones down below, that's how I know you're watching. And of course, if I don't cover something you want covered, drop a comment below. I always answer all your questions, or you can send me a DM. So a lot of women just think that, right, it's all about hot flashes. They've actually done studies. There's over 1,000 symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, over 1,000, right? And actually, the majority of them that are reported are actually mental symptoms. So when you go to your doctor and they're like, oh, I think you need some Zoloft, or oh, I think you need to go to a therapist, it's like, oh no, actually you need somebody to help you fix your fucking hormones. You don't have a psychological issue. I mean, you might have a psychological issue. I don't actually know you, but there's a good chance it is actually attributed to you, the changes in your hormones that you're going through. So about 2/3 of the symptoms of perimenopause are actually mental. Things like mood swings, irritability, brain fog, trouble sleeping, trouble concentrating, a lot of those types of things, being more agitated, more easily frustrated. A lot of these are mental symptoms. And because people can't see them, they're just like, God, why are you being such a bitch? Or why are you so snappy all of a sudden? And you're like, God, why am I being such a bitch? Why am I being so snappy all of a sudden? And then all of a sudden I see women, I run labs and I'm like, well, this is why, like, this is what's going on. Like, this is the thing, right? This is what's causing it. And by the way, you can fix it, right? You don't have to live like this. And I mean, why would you want to? Snapping at the people that you love when it's not you, and you know it's not you because you never used to be like that, right? These are symptoms of what you're actually going through and the changes that you're going through. And then the physical ones, I actually think a lot of women, again, we all think of just hot flashes. You may have probably heard about like dryness, having sex, stuff like that. But there's actually, I could make this list like really, really, really long. So some other ones that women don't often know about: itchy skin, dry skin, joint pain. Joint pain is a huge, 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 huge one that women don't know. When your estrogen declines, you're going to get joint pain, a lot of frozen shoulders, hip issues, things like that. A lot of that's due to a decline in estrogen. Ringing ears, hair loss, irregular periods. There's a ton of symptoms that are actually related to simply the hormonal changes that you're going through. And a lot of them are like inflammation related, which means this doesn't mean like, I don't want you to look at this and look at these stats of 1 in 3 heart disease and some of these things and say like, shit, like, there's nothing I can do about this. I have no choice but to go through menopause, because there's so much of this that's actually within your control. I mean, this is exactly why, a lot of times women will go on hormone replacement and they don't feel any better, because hormone replacement is not always the solution. And birth control is oftentimes just going to make the problems worse, or it's going to mask it. And so there's a lot of things that you can do that are within your control to actually reverse and prevent a number of these things from happening. So if you're suffering with these things, you don't have to suffer, and you don't want to keep living like that. Like I said, if you don't have to, like, that's a terrible way to live, right? So I don't want you to watch this and say like, well, shit, I can't avoid menopause, right? Like, I'm just doomed to have all these symptoms. That's totally not true. Lifestyle has a massive impact on these things. Your lifestyle. So I wanted to, again, just drop some knowledge for you guys today, because there's a lot of myths, there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of nonsense out there, and women are always kind of wondering what's going on with their bodies. So my whole purpose for today was just to drop some knowledge on you guys, hopefully teach you some new things. If there's something that you're wondering, again, drop it in the comments below or send me a message. If you haven't gotten my hormone ebook yet, Help Your Hormones ebook, I talk a lot about this and the things that you can do. I offered it as a free gift when you came into this group. So if you've been in this group for a while, you may have forgotten about it. You can go ahead and just send me a message or says, hey Jess, send me the ebook, something like that below. And myself or somebody from my team will reach out and we'll go ahead and send you that ebook, because it actually addresses a lot of this stuff and like the steps you can take and the things that you can actually do. All right, that's it, guys. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.